you build a relationship with the client or an artist, or us, we're friends.
We first met, Jake put us in touch. I asked him, I needed a mixer desperately, and you filled the position perfectly.
I thought it was just like hand in glove. It was just like my cup of tea of what I was looking to work with, you know? Yeah, cinematic, punchy, with a little bit of aggression on the pop side, but pop left of center, which I love. Even though that I have darker and heavier influences, I have a thing for pop, I think, and when it's a little bit edgy and has that different thing, I think it attracts me a lot. And with the first track, I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I want to do. Let's have a listen to the rough mix. Yeah, you can hear from the rough that everything's just there already.
This was the point where we sent it off to you to pass on the baton almost.
Yeah, it's just
ran out of steam. yeah. Fresh ears.
Yeah, fresh air is just 5% to make it a little bit wider and punchier.
I think Carlos added this sort of 3D depth. It stops feeling like it's coming out of a computer, and it starts to feel like you're actually in the room. Yeah, I remember hearing the first mix back from you and being like, cool, yeah, sounds huge. But you can instantly hear as well, compared to the rough, similar sort of EQ curve going on, but everything's just here now, in your face.
It's a little bit of magic. Yeah, and now it just became like huge.
Yes. This sort of music is very much recorded one, you know, program the bass, program the drums, do the bass, but giving that element of feeling like it's live, which I think you add to it.
A band playing together.
Yeah. Even though it's not, but it's the illusion, the tricking the audience. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think our relationship together working, we have a very similar ear in what we like. So we both use SSL plugins.
Or hardware.
Or if you can get hold of the hardware. But in terms, what I'm trying to say is like the character and the tone, we have a very similar ear, which I think works well.
Yeah, it doesn't happen every day, you know, like you have like a group of people that really, they're tuned into the same frequency, you know?
Yeah.
We all want big, punchy, aggressive, and expensive sound.
Yes, expensive. That's the word.
That's the word.
I think that's the first word I said to you when we met.
Yeah.
And you were like, I know what you mean.
Yep. That's my jam.
Yeah. There's so many different flavors and characters of music, and also even within genres, there's so many subgenres that, as you say, finding the right partnership.
Yeah, that's a word, partnership. It's funny because I don't think too much of what I do. I just let the track speak to me. I listen to the track a few times. I do a balance of a song and feel what's lacking, what needs to be enhanced, or what's perfect from the get-go. So usually I do that rough balance, and then I start working on individual things.
You see it with John, who masters the work we do. I've seen him in certain situations just add a touch of high end, because that's all it needs. And I think that's part of the skill, knowing when not to do stuff.
Yeah, I think I do mostly balancing of things, and then just try to make it feel around, like involving, like getting around yourself and getting around your ears, and feels like you're in the room and feeling the music and have the impact. And it's a lot about automation and make the pods the changes in parts just come forward. It's like you want the chorus to pop in, or the solo to pop in, and that type of stuff. Which I think with time has been doing less of EQing and compressing and all that, and doing more like rides of automation. Make it pop in, just like enhancing just a couple dBs one section, and that's it. It's not that I don't compress, but because I do quite a lot, and I love doing it. I think for instance, if we listen to the vocals.
And your cheekbones, they look pretty under halogen skies.
Obviously, this version has already like all the delays and reverbs printed on, but you can hear every word of a vocal.
Yeah, I've only just realised in solo as well that you've put that octave on.
Yeah.
It's cool though, because like in the mix, you can't hear it. The vocal just sounds deep and warm. But
yeah, I like sometimes instead of like boosting the low end of a vocal track, I prefer just put a octave lower with like what's the name from Sound Toys, the Alter Boy.
yes,
Give the Alter Boy just like an octave lower, and just thickens up the vocals, and it sounds fatter without having to boost low end
the
vocals, which sometimes can be.
I'm nicking that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few things that I always do. I'm very, very systematic regarding mixing. Like I use my template. I know which plugins I'm going to use for what. There's certain room for creativity here and there with things, but most of the things are that I use is just like an SSL channel strip on each channel. It feels familiar to this, and I don't have to think about it. Because if you go scrolling through the list of plugins that we end up having, it's just ridiculous.
It's mental.
You it never ends. It's like, what should we use for this? So once you have like certain things that you like I tend to keep going for that.
Yeah.
And I'm completely systematic. I receive a track, I have a couple listens. I do reamping always past bass or guitars or drums through pedals, and that will give me. It's just to enhance the sound, not necessarily to change it completely, but to, character, add another track of that, make it a little bit fatter.
It's funny, this is the first time I've ever heard like a lot of these elements soloed.
Yeah.
I've been listening to like revisions of this for the last, 2 months now?
Yeah.
And it's just weird.
But yeah, it's weird. When you listen to the track sometimes in solo, it's like, oh, that shouldn't be working. Or it sounds...
Well, it's not the point, is it? Yeah. Like, if sort of elements aren't talking to each other and working with each other, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
When Jake introduced us, I think it was sort of clear from the get-go that we were on the same page. I remember you saying, I tend to mix with an American sound, which first of all I instantly knew what you meant, and was second of all exactly what we were looking for as a band.
Let's build up the track element by element. This section is great because it's like a second section of the chorus that just lifts up and prepares you for the next section, which is the solo of a song. Yeah, and it just has those like go up and down and things, you know, there's
movement.
Movement and dynamics and different sections. Like the solo takes you like, oh my god, and then just drops into the chorus, which is
kind of what you were talking about earlier with. Sort of super clean mixes. I think it's the same with automation. If everything just stays the same and compressed and flat, there's no room for anything to hit you. I You lack emotion when you don't have movement.
Yeah.
I think it's important when you find someone who understands what you're looking for. As you said, you can tell someone what to do, but actually, if someone is on the same page as you, there's much more of sort of an artistic benefit, I think, that comes from that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.